Today I'm going to walk you through the properties of Wave Station activity for tomorrow. So you go into your Google Classroom for virtual learning, and if you click the link from the main page, it'll bring you directly to the activity, or you can go to classwork and then scroll all the way down to day 5, and it'll say properties of Wave Stations. And you'll be able to see the Google slide as well as the Google Doc. You'll need to complete the Google Doc and you can work through the Google slide. So click View Assignment and you'll want to open up the Google document in a separate window so that you can fill in your name and your homeroom section and the date. And then you want to open up the Google slide from the main page. Once you're in the Google slide, you can go through any of the purple or yellow stations in any order you'd like. There are 6 of them. You need to complete all 6. Personally, I think the purple ones are a little bit easier to do than the yellow, so you might want to start with those first, but it doesn't matter. So I want to start with the first one on my lab sheet in my Google Doc, which is Write It, which is a yellow one down here. It says answer each of the task card questions on the lab sheet in complete sentences. So I'm going to click the words that say task card, and it opens up a separate Google Doc. This Google Doc then has 3 different questions that I'm going to answer. Explain the difference between low and high frequency waves. How do you measure a wavelength of a wave? And what is the main difference between transverse and longitudinal waves? Now, it's been a while since we've talked about waves, so maybe I should go to a different station first. But if I was ready to answer them, I would put the answers into the Google Docs right where the question is. Question 1, question 2, and question 3. So if I want to go to read it, I'm going back to my Google Slides, clicking the word passage, and then reading the passage that I've been given and answering questions on waves. Again, going into my Google document lab sheet to put the answer of the question in there. Once I'm done with all 6 different stations, reading, writing, illustrating, researching, assessing, and watching, I'm going to make sure I click Turn In from Google Classroom. The one that's going to be a little bit tricky to do is Illustrate It. So we're going to zoom in a little bit here so we can see exactly what the instructions are. For Illustrate It, it says use Google Drawings to draw 2 different types of waves, transverse and longitudinal. Use the terms to label your drawings. You won't need every word on each drawing. Amplitude, crest, trough, wavelength, compression, and rarefaction. And then put them into the lab sheet. So going into my Google Doc, I'm scrolling down to Illustrate It. In the white box, I'm going to then go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Drawing and New. And that's going to create a nice pop-up window for me to create this wave. If I can't do it through Google Drawings, I can always draw it on paper and insert a picture onto my Google Docs. But I want to make sure I have an idea of what these waves look like again. So I'm looking at the reading passage first. And I see that there's compressions are when the wave lengths are really squished together versus a little bit further apart. And they go up and down. There's high parts and there's low parts. So I'm going to try my best to draw that on Google Drawings. There are different types of lines or curves that I can do. There's also scribble, which might work better. And obviously I'm not the best artist, but it works. And then once that's there, I can add text to it to say like this is the trough or the trowel down here at the bottom and things like that. When I'm done, if I click Save and Close, it'll automatically add the picture to my Google document. Which it should work. There we go. Now it's a little bit different from what I had drawn before, but we get the idea. And again, once I'm done with my all 6 of the stations, I'm going to make sure that I click Turn In on Google Classroom. All right, don't forget to reach out if you have any questions.